Hi there. Good morning, everyone. What I want to talk about is a slight bit controversial. This particular hockey player lives in infamy, and that's Dany Heatley. As everyone knows, he was in a car accident many years ago, and it resulted in his friend Dan Snyder being killed. I looked it up. I've always remembered the story, but it has been a while, so I had to refresh my memory. Nowhere on Wikipedia does it say alcohol was involved, but usually with car accidents that is the case, and people involved in the legal lawsuits and all that genuinely associate alcohol with car accidents. Dany Heatley may or may not have been intoxicated. The internet didn't clearly say that. Maybe there were newsreels, years ago, whatever, when the story was new, saying that yes he was or no he wasn't. Maybe they were lying. I don't know. But anyway, it was a very big deal because Dany Heatley had played 2 seasons with the Atlanta Thrashers. His point totals were okay, for a rookie. They were pretty good, but he had yet to prove himself. Then the NHL lockout happens, and you guarantee that was a big reason for it. They may not have come out and said that was a big reason for the lockout, but that wouldn't be true. It definitely was. When the lockout's over, Dany Heatley goes to Ottawa. He has 5 good years. They make it to the Stanley Cup final in one of those years. 5 good years, not all of them with Ottawa. Like, he was in San Jose for his last significant point total season. But yeah, he made it to the finals as an Ottawa Senator, but did not win the Stanley Cup. And there's a lot of dark energy around this situation. Not just because he was in a car accident that killed his friend, but because of the evil that came about around him. This happened in early 2000, and what is he? He was born in 81, so he's 36 now? 37? So he's at the tail end of his career, but he was a young man at the time. Young people do stupid things all the fucking time. I'm not defending him, I'm just saying. But obviously he had people who were financially backing him up. Probably his parents were significant figures in the National Hockey League and had a lot of sway. He was probably already a rich kid. I forgot what car he was driving. I think wasn't it a Ferrari or something? Obviously he'd have been able to afford that if he were in the NHL, but he probably had a helping hand. Dan Snyder's lawyers would not have accepted Dany Heatley's apology, and they would not have quit. They would, losing a trial would not have stopped them from pursuing ways of getting back at Dany Heatley. Of course, in a situation like that, particular individuals with their cult of personality and things like that, and sycophants around them, they can become untouchable. And that is what happened with Dany Heatley. The Ottawa Senators expected big things from him, and they did as far as point totals go. He was pretty absentee during the Anaheim-Ottawa series. I didn't actually watch it because I was at work most of the time, like I am most of the time anyway. That's just the life of the common everyday folk. Anyway, there's probably a combination of reasons why Dany Heatley supposedly just got away with a slap on the wrist. A man is dead because of his actions. I'm sure he was remorseful. But like I said, Dan Snyder's agents and lawyers that would have been on Dan Snyder's side just because they don't like car accidents and they associate it with alcohol, they associate all those bad things into one, and that was their platform of attacking. But of course, all that makes the NHL look bad, so they just kind of put it off to the side. You know, it's significant news, so they had to say something about it. But if they could have said nothing about it, they would have preferred to do that. Yeah. So it appeared that Dany Heatley had the edge in that court debate, that legal trouble. It seemed to have gone away. And that is both a blessing and a curse, because these people that defended him over, when he was wrong, they expected big things out of him. They expected big money out of him. They expected him to bring back a Stanley Cup, and he didn't do that. So those people who are quite heartless, who defended him and against the charges he had because of the Dan Snyder being killed, they're very cold people. So them being told they're not getting paid because Dany Heatley was part of a team. It was a team effort. It was obviously not just Dany Heatley's fault that Ottawa lost, but they lost. Those same sycophants would turn on him. Just like that. They didn't get what they wanted. They had to defend him in, very, very bad situation. And now Dany Heatley's gonna pay for it. Everything comes with a price, and when you deal with the devil, he usually wins. Not always, but he usually wins. And the last few seasons with Dany Heatley, he's had that expression on his face like he's losing. Not just the game, but like he's losing everything. Like his soul isn't there. And I know from my experience, people thought, well, this guy's constantly drunk all the time. And I was. He's gonna, go do something stupid. Therefore, we're gonna give him a sore throat, and then just continually tell him that, no, it's acid reflux, no, it's this, it's that. And wouldn't surprise me at all if they're doing the same thing to Heatley. That he's just surrounded by sycophants that don't listen, don't give him time to talk, probably control the social conditioning so that he can't formulate proper arguments. I don't know if he's old enough and wise enough to be able to talk his way out of that situation. But he most certainly is in a bubble of his own. Any cult of personality is, but whether that cult of personality is going to be negative, the atmosphere around him is going to be negative or positive or neutral, all depends, And his one is going to be negative. It's a private hell for him. Because those Dan Snyder agents and lawyers and things like that, they will not have quit. People go, oh, well, he had good seasons afterwards, he did this, that, and the other. They'll quit. Well, that's not the case at all. These people, they get obsessive compulsive and they have to get their way, and they won't stop. They'll just keep going after him until they get what they want. And I think that they could have given him a sore throat, and he's still contractually obligated to play. As of now, he's an unrestricted free agent, but the last couple years, he's been abysmal, right? So it wouldn't surprise me at all if they're just going, we're gonna make him do this or that behind closed doors as far as taking medicine goes. And they're probably lying to him about what it does. And it's probably causing him intense pain. I know because my situation is not the same as his, but like I said, alcoholism, drinking, driving, reckless attitude, all this sort of stuff, it all gets roped in together when people go to discuss it in legal terms. And as I said, I don't know if Dany Heatley was drunk or not, or had a few drinks or whatever. He probably did. He was a young guy. He probably had a few drinks. That was probably a big factor in it. Yeah. So, yeah, I reckon he's in a spot of bother. And, okay, he's like 36, 37 now. They don't want him to, be in a comfortable position. They want him to live in agony. Like, could you imagine Dan Snyder's parents and him seeing Dany Heatley bawl his eyes out about how he's sorry about how he killed him? They wouldn't care. It wouldn't bother them even in the slightest that Dany Heatley was in significant trouble later on. They didn't want that. I mean, on the surface in court they go, maybe they went, oh, we forgive him. I don't know, I didn't read that part. May not happen. Someone would have to correct me on that. But behind closed doors, they're going, sharpening up the blade to get him with. Because people don't forgive and forget. And a lot of people on the surface, when they look at that situation, they'd go, I have no sympathy for Dany Heatley. And I don't know enough about it to really give a constructive opinion as to whether I like him or not. I have considered putting Dany Heatley on the San Jose jersey I have, simply because I don't like the other players on San Jose, to be honest with you. Even Joe Thornton I don't really like. Sometimes I think about putting characters who are infamous on my jerseys. I mean, none of the other players are anything like Dany Heatley on my jerseys, but you don't see many people walking around with a Subban jersey. You don't see many people walking around with a Boogaard jersey. And if they're gonna get a Kings jersey, they don't put Kopitar with the C. They put Dustin Brown. They do their things. But those characters are completely different from Dany Heatley. Yeah, it's a case of blood money, yet again. Personal tragedy, and money was able to be made out of it. And the thing is, you may go, well, in this day and society of laws and what's considered right and wrong, how could that have possibly become what it was? Well, a lot of money was moving around. Dany Heatley's agents were very, very quick, very clever, very intelligent, and he was well connected, and at the time he got slap on the wrist. Obviously it showed because he was phenomenal on the Ottawa Senators as far as point totals go. He was obviously not suffering from any negative psychological or physical aspects of that car crash. Yeah, last few years he's been real terrible. And yeah, it's just, I really don't know what to think, because this whole thing from, common everyday folks' perspective is really mired in mystery. It's hard to get a real grip on what's going on and not just talking a bunch of stuff that actually isn't true or whatever. So I'm just saying it's a possibility. But one thing I think is that an incident like this happening in the NHL, there are leaders in the world and in North America who believe that one death doesn't matter. They don't care because, constantly, everyone, all the news governments are getting news feeds of whatever, Taliban fighters killing a bunch of people, or ISIS, or militias in South America or Africa or wherever. There's like the world is filled with horrible things happening all the time. So one death doesn't actually psychologically bother them that much. I mean, normal person it would. I mean, Dan Snyder was a young man, had a promising career, and it ended. Yeah, that's real sad. But some people don't look at it that way. They look at it as, well, one life doesn't really matter if it sets a precedence, an impact, and it moves money around, because they're that cold. Dany Heatley would not have understood that at his age, because he would have been early 20s at the time. And when you're in your early 20s, you're pretty damn stupid in a lot of ways. These people with, smiling sycophantic faces at him while he was on Ottawa getting big point totals, they would have been hiding a dark secret, which was that they were going to still get him after he did not perform. If he did not perform, and he didn't win the Stanley Cup, the most coveted trophy in all of sports. So in light of them being so cold to Dan Snyder, they feel the need to be cold to Dany Heatley. One life doesn't matter. Therefore, Dany Heatley is to be punished, and money changes hands, and people have different influence in his life, and he's not likely to be re-signed now. He's probably not physically fit, because they probably just had him well enough to keep going for the last couple of seasons. But like, he had that look in his face like he had some sort of secret pain, which he didn't have that look when he was playing for the Ottawa Senators. And in his position, it could mean anything. It could mean the rest of his life he's in a situation where he's in constant discomfort or pain. I mean, there most certainly are people in the Dan Snyder party that would enjoy seeing that. It used to be back in the day that if something like that were to happen, someone from Dan Snyder's cult of personality, or someone who just didn't like Dany Heatley's cult of personality for whatever reasons, would have gone, and it would have been like Italian mafia style, where they come by in a car and go that's what would have happened to Dany Heatley at some point. He would have had his guard down, and that would have happened. Most certainly would have happened in the 40s or whatever, but we live in today's standards, and they don't necessarily have to do that. Yeah, I mean, it's different strokes for different folks. Things can happen to other people, and it could be not similar to you, but like a similar situation in whatever regard, and they use it as a tool to advance policy, to advance legal laws and things like that. And the Dan Snyder case and Dany Heatley, a lot of people were outraged that Dany Heatley got away with what he did, and he got away with it because he had powerful parents and he had money backing him up, and he had potential in the NHL to win a Stanley Cup. Whereas people like me didn't do anything wrong. I just looked like a drunk, and then they went, right, we can get this guy, so let's nail him to the wall. And I say he probably got a sore throat because it's one of the most effective ways of inflicting torture on someone and disguising it as something else. Like anything else, like as far as organs go, they have to know an answer for right away. Like if you've got like something going on with your head, like a tumor or something like that, there are going to be obvious symptoms of that, and you're not going to be able to function. You got cirrhosis, or wherever the liver is, it's on one of these sides, I forget. Then you're not going to be able to skate fast and do this and do that. You got a heart problem, you're not going to be able to be an athlete. You got a sore throat, however, you still can perform. You're in pain. You're in constant terror of being hit, because that would put you in a very uncomfortable place. And it's a frightening thing for the throat to be in pain, especially when you don't know why. I mean, there are the cases when people have esophageal cancer and they do know why, but it's an effective manipulative tool, and it sets a precedence for many reasons. I don't know why they specifically go after the throat, and I don't know if that is what mostly gets done, but I just know that's what happens with me, is that they've gone after my throat for my social media. It's kind of like the Darth Vader grip, you know, the dark side kind of thing. Yeah, this is extremely complicated subject, and I have very limited information, and the dang internet ain't gonna tell me what it is. I read it, but it's all propaganda. What they say and what really happened are two different things. I need more information to really give solid opinion if I like Dany Heatley or not, or if I forgive him, or if I'm looking at it from a biased perspective, or whatever. I'm just saying, now that he's in a position where he's not going to win a Stanley Cup, the sycophants he had are going to turn on him. If they haven't already, and I'm sure a lot of them already have. And they'll put him in a position where they'll control everything as far as his social aspects, how he feels. They can make him feel whatever they want. And that could be a truly horrible place. It could put you in a situation where obviously you don't want to die, because you probably are vengeful, and you don't want these people getting at you. And who wants to die anyway, because then your story's over and you're done. But you're living in pain, and you're living in a world that's oversimplified, and you're surrounded by people who enforce that, who they've created this bubble for you, and it's private hell. And it really is. And it's scary when sycophants want to put you in a private hell, because these bureaucrats, lawyers, all those people, they're all despicable. And way more evil than some stupid kid fucking at 20 years of age who got in a car accident. Although that makes Dany Heatley a bad person in a lot of people's eyes, and probably mine too, but I need more information. The people around it were far more evil, and because he didn't bring back the cheddar, they're going to do unspeakable, horrible things to him. And, it's just an overall really fucked up situation. Anyway, I do have some more theories on this, but I do have to go to work soon, so I have to get ready for that. I suspect with the Dany Heatley thing, like everything to do with the NHL, there's a publication ban. Only certain things get said, only certain things get told, and it's a narrative that gets told. So that's why the Wikipedia is the way it is. That's why any news articles are the way they are. That's why any hearsay is the way it is. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later, and we'll have a conversation later. See you later.